Hello and welcome to my new central London studio, and in today's news there is something that may be of interest for those thinking of buying an Ahorn campervan or motorhome. Is that as from now, Ahorn is going to be made in the Hymer facilities that exist in San Casciano in Italy, where the Etrusco brand is currently manufactured. Now, for those of you who know Ahorn, or don't know Ahorn I should say, it's a relatively cheap brand. It's manufactured on the Renault Chassis. It's a company that doesn't possess its own manufacturing facilities. It's a bit like the own brands that you can get from supermarkets. So you get these own brands which they ask manufacturers to make for them. They specify what the price has to be, and then the manufacturer has to make them for them. That's why sometimes many of these own brands end up being a lot cheaper. But in the case of things like spices, for example, it could be because of sticking a whole pile of salt or something similar to other cheaper materials like sugar or what have you. So that's how the own brand works, or private label as it's normally known in supermarkets. Now with motorhomes, what Ahorn's been doing, they've got manufacturing in Italy. Now they were manufacturing in the same facility as Renault, and this was for me something I can never understand. How come Ahorn's comparatively okay, whereas Renault is really not very good at all? And I couldn't understand this. I thought it's made on the same lines by the same people, but apparently it is made at the same place, but not on the same line and not by the same people. There are different people actually doing it. Now, anybody, of course, could start up their own motorhome brand. You could do so if you wanted to, and then because at the moment there's plenty of spare capacity. So if you've got a motorhome you want to build, then you can go up to Hymer, or you can go up to Trigano, or any one of many other people who've got factories, and say that you want to actually manufacture using their facilities. I'll give you an example. First time I ever saw this was at the Deathless factory, and there they were manufacturing for Purcell. So what what Ahorn appear to have done is to have changed from where they're manufacturing to the Hymer facilities. Presumably Hymer offered them a better deal. Now Hymer say the San Casciano facility is the one of the most modern in the world. I don't know, I haven't been there. I think this is where Etrusco brand is actually manufactured, but I have been to their facility at Neustadt and Sachsen, which is now entering its 20th year of production, and I've got to say that was really amazing. I've been to a number of factories, but I've never seen anything like that. It was so well done, absolutely spotless as well. It had been once a factory for producing tractors in East German times, but now absolutely brilliant. So well done for that. So what will this mean? Well, one of the problems with Ahorn has been that getting parts has been very, very difficult. In the summer of 2024, I was parked in Gdansk, and friends of mine were rammed by a learner driver whilst they were in their Ahorn motorhome. And the problem is now, 8 months later, and they still haven't got the parts. And that's despite me writing to the boss of the company on 2 occasions to ask if they can't actually do something for them. So this is, I would hope that with the Hymer intervention, that this would improve. I don't know if that's going to improve or not, but it will do. Now, as far as my friends are concerned, what I ought to do is to do a video on this subject, because I've sort of skirted out over how the accident happened. If I hadn't seen it myself, I wouldn't have believed it at all. So I'm not going to say now what happened, but I did do a video where I actually walked and sort of tried to say, and even with the video you're not going to believe it, so it doesn't make any difference anyway, I suppose. This won't make Ahorn any cheaper to buy, I think. If it'll improve the quality or not, I don't know. One thing I do need to point out though with motorhomes is that what you're paying for really is the stuff you can't see. It's the infrastructure, and it's the way, a means of manufacture, because the fridges are all more or less the same, the kitchens are almost all the same, the boilers are almost all the same. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but there's not a huge amount. The expense is in the things you can't see. I do try to make this very clear in the videos I do. Maybe I don't, because what you see with my videos are the cosmetic bits, not the real expense. I do try as best I can to show these things, but you're really seeing the cosmetic bits. And so I would hope that this may lead to some sort of invisible improvements. That's my opinion. Anyway, okay, so if you've got any questions, then you can obviously ask. I probably won't have the answer, but you can ask. You can, however, see the entire Ahorn range on my site. Every vehicle that they've done. Now, they are only on the Renault chassis now, but in the past they've been on others as well. Not so long ago in Germany, I went past one which was on a Mercedes chassis. So it's been in business for a number of years. Management's now very young. The person who started the business was only a couple of years older than me, but he died rather tragically at a very young age. A young age. He was in his 50s, as I recall. And so anyway, it's now run by his son and his daughter. So I think that it's got a lot of positive parts. Obviously, they're selling on price, and if they can continue to compete on price, and the fact it's on the Renault chassis, which some people may prefer, because there's not many vehicles on Renault chassis that might be delivering what people are actually looking for. It's sold. They've got 3 main dealers. One in Mülheim, where I've done a number of my videos from. Mülheim is near Dusseldorf. Speyer, and I think the other one's near Frankfurt. I can't remember quite off the top of my head. It's also sold through Renault dealerships as well. So so this might actually increase their production, though at a time when they possibly may not be wanting to increase production. There's a lot of spare capacity on the market at the moment. It's been very, very tough for manufacturers and dealers, I need to point out, over the past 5+ years since COVID hit. First of all, there wasn't enough vehicles, or then they were lacking certain parts, even tiny parts they couldn't get for their vehicles. And now we've got a situation where interest rates went up, and that has in turn affected sales. And it's affected sales above all at the cheaper end of the market. Bear in mind I said cheaper, didn't say it's cheap, because nothing as far as motorhomes and campervans is cheap. Okay, thanks very much for listening. I hope you found that interesting. I bet you want to see the view from my new office. Well, here we go. Pretty smart, eh? Not bad at all, this new office. Mind you, I've got to clear out when the tide comes up, so I won't be able to be here in the afternoon. I'm staying in London, and I come here a couple of times a year, and on a day like today, isn't this fantastic? Look, March, and it's absolutely brilliant. But this view is amazing, in my opinion. That's why I came here, especially to do this video, so you could see the view. Thanks for watching.